Welcome to another in our lessons about the future. We're going to continue our discussion. This is episode 3 of Intelligent Design. The question of intelligent design that we raised, or the issue of intelligent design that we raised in our first episode, was that our intelligence began, we postulate, when we began to communicate with one another. When we began first to communicate with one another together in a community, in a tribe, original tribes, and then we began to communicate with each other over wider and wider time and space, because we communicated over time. And the question of, well, I think, therefore I am. I am a composite of all the knowledge that I received from all of you. I don't think anybody ever created their own existence out of nothing. We were built on all of the knowledge of all of humanity. Nobody can take responsibility for building it all. You may have built your piece of it, but you are part of a much bigger picture. But anyway, the point of this story is tied to the future, and the future is tied to the past. And it's all tied to the development of the technologies that affected our ability to communicate across space and time. And a long time ago, when I began to evaluate the future of things and evaluate them through the lens of the past of things, I postulated the first big thing. One of them was monopoly. And see, monopoly is the greatest, the best way to organize a business is to have a monopoly. Just ask Apple now, or many people that have monopolies that are, well, that are beyond the ability to be destroyed. But anyway, well, actually none of them are, because any monopoly can be destroyed by a change in the structure of everything. But anyway, so the point is this. Let's go through the things. Anyway, I won't go through all the big things, but we got to, well, actually they do matter, because number 2 is travel. And we started to travel around and share ideas from the east to the west, but that was very inefficient. And then we invented democracy, but we've never practiced democracy because we never really wanted it. Why would we want the people to be in charge when the people don't know what they want? And, well, just ask Alexis de Tocqueville what democracy in America is all about, and we'll get to the future of Earth. Now, number 4 was very important. It was the book. And it wasn't the Gutenberg Bible. It was print that the Chinese invented, but the book and the traveling of knowledge over time was very important, the ability to print it. And then we'll just skip forward to some of the information, technology, and communication events of the future, which happened only really within the last 130, 40 years. And that is really the advancement, the invention of the telephone and the radio, and of the television, and then of the computer and of the internet, all allowing communications. What's interesting is that within the last 20, 30 years, the telephone took 100 years to arrive at amount of phones. And within a period of a decade or 2, cell phones surpassed telephones. And people that never had telephones were benefiting from cell phone technology. And, well, that kind of communication technology unleashed allows a power that has never been sent and seen in the history of mankind. A power that only existed around the year 2000, the turn of our millennium. A power of communication, a power to transmit information and ideas across culture and time. A power to transmit the truth. Al-Haq 51. Anyway, that's just aside from my Muslim brothers. Anyway, so here's the point. What is the point? Okay, intelligent design. We were designed to not work in an autonomy of power. An autonomy of power came out of kingdoms. Now, with the new network technology of people, we have the ability to create a network, a hierarchical network. It has to be hierarchical because we must find ways to put the meritorious in charge of the places they should be in charge of. And we must have the great lead us and build a civilization with us together. We must find a way, some way, to employ our people, to employ them in the advancement of the prosperity of all of us. Imagine a world that we owned together, the people on the world, from the rich to the poor. Yes, there would be rich and poor, but it would be a more just world. Riches would not be earned through crime and injustice. They would be earned through contribution. And, well, that gets into how do we create such an actual plan. And really, see, let's get to the communications paradigm of it all. You could take your story, your message, if you were the messenger, if you were the prophet of prophets and the prophet of prophets, and it works both ways and count it out. If you were the prophet of prophets for we the people of earth.biz, then, well, where do you take your message? Well, I would want to take my message to the leaders of the world and say, leaders, lead. I'll give you a better plan to lead and a plan for you to share your bounty and your capabilities in being a founding father of future Earth. Or not. But ultimately, that's plan A. Plan B becomes, if the leaders don't lead, then we could have another kind of revolution. We could have a revolution that changes the world as we know it. We could implement democracy and vote all those dear leaders crying us out with casino capitalism. See, when you build the casinos and you take your customers' money, you destroy your own casinos when those casinos are built on mortgages, because you can't pay your casino mortgages when your customers have no money to lose. And Wall Street, you're a casino. You play with customers' money, and the insiders skim the tables, but as they skim and take the tables from the middle class and the poor, well, the poor have no stake in it but the middle class, and the middle class goes lower, then guess what happens? The consumption goes down, the economy goes down, the illusion goes down, and you still can't pay your mortgages. And that's the problem. We're building a world, a mortgaged world. We need to restructure not a little debt. We need to restructure all of the debt. The Fed doesn't need to buy a little debt from all of the banks. The Fed needs to buy back all of the underwater mortgages. The Fed needs to participate in homeowner plans, but that's another plan and stake entirely. But the point is this: if the dear leaders don't change the world and save it, then the people will. And they could do it over the internet, and they could take out your dear leaders. But that's not the optimum plan. Plan A is the optimum plan. That's the angel plan. Plan B, I don't know what you want to call plan B, but that's the plan for the people to come up and rise up with their revolution. Of course, a peaceful revolution with no violence other than the power, alleged power of the vote. And then there is plan C. That is plan C. The same old plan you got going now. Just try to live in the margins and wait for the catastrophe. C stands for catastrophe. And catastrophe is what will happen when we don't create control over our own destiny. Our destiny is within our power to control and to create. Our destiny is within our power to create a world of love, no war and peace, or a world of catastrophe and injustice. That's the truth of it all. I'll hack 51. Anyway, I'd like to get back to the story because there are ultimately many ways of spinning this story. So in the next episode, I will play you the episode that ran in my mind. I've never played Plan B. That's yours to play. I'll play you Plan A. And in Plan A, it will blow your mind because in Plan A, the angels would conspire to buy the world secretly in Illuminati form without you knowing it. Your news, your bad news, would not even be real news. The good news would be held back into the real good news of peace and earth was ready to be declared for all of the world. Are you ready for good news? Or do you want to keep playing the bad news